Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path. And today I'm here at the shop because I want to show you how to use a great product that I think will be wonderful for you guys to make Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, whatever kind of gift you want to, or just something special for somebody. Basically, this is a little extra video for you. I listed these items on our Etsy store, so I wanted to make sure that you would be able to get a hold of these before the holiday. Now, what I want to show you today is how to make some beautiful resin charms where you personalize it by using a photo or beads or whatever you want to use with it. So basically, I'm going to teach you using the Lisa Palvecchia UV resin gloss. Now, this is great for a dimensional lacquer that you can add dimension to, like polymer clay and paper crafts and things like that, or you can do what we're going to do with it. Now, the fantastic thing about this resin is that it cures in 10 minutes under a UV light, which is here. Or you can put it out in direct sunlight. Now, I personally have never put it out in direct sunlight to do it. I have read lots of things about it as far as what to do, and I've read some places that say it takes as little as a few minutes, and some places say it takes like an hour or 2 hours to dry out in the sun. So I'll talk to you more about that as we go through the process of what we're going to do. But basically, you are going to need some UV gloss. You are going to need some photos, and what I like to do is I'll go to my local, our local pharmacy. Smith's Drugs has a photo machine that you can print your photos out instantly. I know Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, Walmart, they have it. And basically what you want to do, and what the easiest thing to do, is to just take your photos and have a small, this is a 4x6 photo that they've just done a little collage of pictures on. Or on your computer, you can also print out what's called a contact sheet, or if you look through photos that you've had processed, you may already have one. It's basically one of these with little thumbnail pictures of all the pictures that you got. These will work great too. I'm going to use some just clear packaging shipping tape, completely clear. You'll need a good pair of scissors. I've got a needle, just in case I have any air bubbles. You're going to need bezels. Now, the bezels will come in lots of different styles and colors and things like that. What I want to do today is I want to make a showcase piece for a bracelet. I want to make a top piece for a bracelet. So I'm actually going to use one that looks like this. It's a connector. It has 2 holes on each end. And this one is a 27 by 47 oval link. A lot of different companies make these. This specific one is the Petra or Petra, depending on who you talk to. This is their brand. Also, Tierra Cast carries this product, and they have this really neat thing. Tierra Cast, I love them. They are a made in USA pewter company, and they actually have frames. And you can see they have samples of their different frames, and the good thing about when you buy Tierra Cast frames is they have a cheat sheet. This is their cheat sheet where you can actually take and put the picture behind whatever you're doing, and you will be able to see what your photo will look like inside of the template. So this works out fantastic. Otherwise, you just have to cut and paste and do whatever. Like I said, I love the Tierra Cast because it comes in quite a few different textures. You've got your silver colored metals, you've got your gold colored metals, copper colored metals. So there's a lot of fun metals that you can use with their company. But I do use both. I use the Tierra Cast and I use the Petra, whatever. It is a pewter base that is lead-free with a silver coat over the top of it. So get your materials together and we're going to get started with this really fun project. And like I said, all of this is on our Etsy store so you can look and see. And if I don't have the resin up or a certain bezel you like, be sure and keep checking back with me because it may just be that I'm out of stock because once I put it on there, it tends to sell pretty quickly. So get your materials and let's get started. So I want to show you guys some samples of what I'm actually doing. These are some that I made a while back and I just love them. And I want you to kind of see what you can do with them. This is a bracelet, a little charm bracelet I made of some pictures that me and my husband had taken together. These are some smaller charms here. And it's hard to see, but when you look at the charm, and you'll see as we go along, it's wonderful because it does this nice raised finish on the little charms. Once you finish with the UV gloss, they're waterproof and you don't have to worry about them damaging the picture or anything like that. Now, I'm going to take my picture. I have my bezel that I want to use. And the only thing about using a bigger bezel like this, which is the Petra, Petra, whatever you want to call it, is that you actually have to lay the bezel on top and trace around it. Whereas with the Tiara cast, you have your little template that you can use and it's a lot easier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an ink pen and I'm going to lay over what I want for my picture and kind of get it centered. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and trace around so that now I have my outline of what I want to do here. Now when I cut it, I'm actually going to cut it in a little closer. I'm not going to come out as far because I did it on the outside. So again, lay it over, trace, and now you're ready to cut it out. And when you cut it out, like I said, don't go all the way out to the line. Come in just a little bit and just try and keep the shape as good as you possibly can. When you first start out doing these, it's better to try and do the circle or the square. The oval is a little bit harder unless you're using the Tiara cast template. The oval is harder because obviously it's hard to cut a perfect oval by hand. Now they do make punches that you can use, but why spend the extra money if you're just going to do a few of these? Okay, so I'm going to lay it in there. Lay my picture in there. As you can see, it's not fitting in there perfectly yet. So I'm going to take and I'm just going to trim around it a little bit more. And each time you trim, don't get trim crazy. Just trim it just a little bit. Just a little bit off the side. And then my bezel will fit perfectly here. And this was actually a picture of me and my husband back in March of this year at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We love to go to the beach every chance we get. Okay, so now my picture is down inside of my bezel. Now there are a couple things that I do personally for myself. And what I do, number one, is I'm going to take and I'm actually going to put this in some clear packaging tape. Now you will definitely want to do this if you are putting this on a regular paper. If you're putting it on like we're doing here, which is an actual photo on photo paper, you don't have to worry about doing this. But I made a bunch of these with some regular resin a few years back and it just terrifies me to think that my ink might run. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the picture and I'm going to lay the picture down and I'm going to press the picture onto the clear packaging tape. Then I'm going to take the other side here and I'm just going to press it down over the tape really good. Now, this is not a step that you absolutely have to do. This is something that I do because I am extra cautious about stuff like that. So now I'm just going to take and I'm going to trim to the photo. If you are using regular photo or regular paper off your printer, you will definitely want to put the tape. If you don't, your colors are going to bleed from the resin and you are going to be really disappointed. So now I have the clear tape on the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue, and it can really be any kind of glue. I like to use a quick drying glue, and what we want to do is you want to put just a little bit of glue down on the bottom of the bezel, so that way your picture will not come out of the bezel. And you want to press that, start from the center and press outward. And the reason that you want to do this, especially with the square bezel, I've had problems with the square bezel when I work with it. If it gets any air up under the bottom, it will cause an air bubble. And then I'll take my shirt or something and I'll just wipe it off so that no fingerprints will be on the actual picture. Now I'm going to take my UV resin. Hold the resin straight up and down first. And I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to work around filling the bezel with the UV resin. You can fill the bezel as full as you want it without overflowing it. Make sure you fill in all the little cracks. Now, I'm going to try and zoom in just a little bit without it getting fuzzy here, because I want you to see, you can see I've got some air bubbles here. So, you have to get the air bubbles out before you put it in the light or they will stay there. So, what you want to do is take a needle and try and bust the bubbles. If you have one that you're having some trouble out of, simply pull the bubbles to the side like this, and then take your finger and tap your finger on it and get the bubbles out just like that. And you want to work to get all the bubbles out. So I worked and got all the air bubbles out, and now I'm actually going to put it inside the UV light. So I'm going to slide it, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to slide it right inside the light. Now you have to be careful because some of the bezels, they actually, and I'm going to try and get it up here so you can see a little better, they're not completely flat on the back, because you've got the back, it's straight, but then you've got the loop at the top. So when you put these in, you have to put them in and leave the loop sticking out. And I'll see if I can get it in here just a little so you can see. There we go. So see, I've got my photo. You would have it just like this, and just take and slide it in, and when you slide it in, leave the loop sticking out. And you want to leave your pieces in the light for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long you're going to let it, or how thick you put the resin in. And do not stick your finger in there and touch it. What you actually want to do, if you want to test it to see if it's done, is to actually take a needle and touch it, press down with the needle, and see if it's dry, because if not and you touch it, you're going to get that fingerprint on it. And so leave it in there until you're sure that it's secure and that it has cured. Now while I'm waiting on the one bezel to cure, I've started doing another one, and it's a square. And I wanted to show you, if you overfill it, it's completely okay. What you want to do is just take a paper towel and just rub down the sides of it, and it will pull off any excess that you have. And just keep rubbing down the side. Until you've pulled off any excess that you don't want. And on the square ones, and it may be if you've never done this before, what I'll do is I'll actually let it sit for about 10 minutes to make sure any air bubbles come up, and then I will put it into the light. So this one is ready to go now too, so I'm gonna stick it into the light and then we'll pull both of them out so you can see. Okay, so I've taken my pieces out of the light now, the UV light, and you can see this is the one where I put the tape on it, and you can see what it looks like. There's only 2 little air bubbles that I missed down here at the very bottom, but they blend in. And then this is the one that I did to show you without tape. And you can see, although it looks good, this one has a little bit more spots in it, if that's the word to use. It has a few more spots. It's got some more bubbles and things like that, and that's without using the tape on the picture, so you can see the difference there. Another thing that I love about these little pieces is that they also make the ring bases for these so that you can make rings out of your favorite thing. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again next time.